Spencer Dutton has lost everything, and he's pointing the finger at one man, Whitfield. In the explosive Season 2 finale of 1923, grief turns to fury as Spencer spirals into blame, heartbreak, and rage. But is Whitfield really responsible for Alex's death? Or is Spencer cracking under the weight of everything he's lost? In this video, we're breaking down Spencer's emotional collapse, the cut dialogue that changes everything, and how Whitfield's power plays set this tragic moment in motion. We'll also dive into what Whitfield's death means for Season 3, and why Spencer's future might be darker than ever. Spencer's emotional state in the finale. Spencer Dutton's emotional state in the Season 2 finale of 1923 is a raw mix of grief, rage, and disillusionment. Throughout the series, Spencer has always been a man shaped by trauma, haunted by war, loss, and the constant need to protect those he loves. But in the finale, that protective instinct shatters under the weight of Alex's death. The grief hits him like a freight train, and rather than process it inwardly, he immediately turns that pain outward, finding a target in Whitfield. It's the kind of knee-jerk emotional reaction that shows Spencer isn't just mourning, he's unraveling. What makes this moment so striking is how quickly Spencer abandons reason. He doesn't pause to assess the situation or consider whether Whitfield directly caused Alex's death. He just reacts. This marks a significant shift in his character. Up until this point, Spencer has often been the level-headed Dutton, the one who pauses to think before acting. But the finale strips him of that control. The emotional weight of losing Alex after everything they've been through together breaks down that wall of calm and unleashes a more reckless version of him, one who needs someone to blame. This emotional spiral is also a reflection of Spencer's deep sense of guilt. He likely sees Alex's death as something he should have prevented, just like he failed to protect others in his past. Blaming Whitfield may be easier than confronting his own perceived failures, and that's what makes the scene hit so hard. It's not just about vengeance or justice, it's about pain, self-blame, and the desperate need to make sense of a senseless tragedy. Whether it's justified or not, Spencer's emotional breakdown adds a whole new layer to his character arc and raises major questions about where he goes from here. The scene where Spencer confronts Whitfield. The confrontation between Spencer and Whitfield in the Season 2 finale is one of the most charged moments in 1923, not just because of what's said, but because of everything simmering beneath the surface. Spencer walks into the scene with a storm behind his eyes. He's just lost the woman he fought across continents to protect, and now he's face to face with the man he believes is responsible. There's no diplomacy, no hesitation, just accusation and raw fury. This isn't about strategy anymore, it's personal. What makes the scene so gripping is the power dynamic. Whitfield, always smug and calculating, doesn't flinch. He knows Spencer is fueled by grief and he uses that to his advantage. Rather than defend himself, he twists the knife, speaking in half-truths and smug deflections. He doesn't need to confess, he just needs Spencer to lose control. And Spencer nearly does. The tension is so thick it feels like someone could pull a gun at any second. It's a psychological duel, not just a physical threat. But what's really important about this scene is how it redefines the stakes. This isn't just about land or legacy anymore, it's about vengeance and emotional ruin. Spencer isn't thinking like a Dutton heir, he's thinking like a grieving lover with nothing left to lose. That shift changes the whole tone of the feud. It's no longer about right or wrong, it's about who can endure the pain longer. And Whitfield knows it. The scene leaves viewers with a sense that something irreversible has happened, and the fallout is only just beginning. Was Whitfield truly responsible? Determining whether Whitfield was truly responsible for Alex's death is a complex question, and that's exactly what makes it so compelling. On the surface, Spencer's blame feels justified. Whitfield has spent the entire season manipulating, threatening, and poisoning everything around the Duttons. His influence is wide-reaching, and his hands are far from clean. So when Alex dies and Spencer points the finger, it feels like a natural conclusion. Whitfield has been the puppet master behind so much suffering. Why wouldn't he be the cause of this too? But when you dig deeper, the line between cause and consequence gets murky. There's no clear evidence that Whitfield directly orchestrated Alex's death. Did he pull the trigger? Number? Did he hire someone? That's never confirmed. What he did do, however, was create the kind of chaos and pressure that made tragedy inevitable. His power grabs, threats to the family, and relentless pursuit of control created a world where no one, especially those close to the Duttons, was ever truly safe. So while he may not have delivered the final blow, his actions arguably paved the road to it. This moral gray area is what makes Whitfield such an effective antagonist. He's not a cartoon villain twirling his mustache. He's calculated, powerful, and untouchable in a way that makes true justice feel impossible. Spencer's rage might be misdirected emotionally, but it's not without reason. Whether Whitfield is legally responsible or not, the emotional weight of Alex's death falls squarely at his feet in Spencer's eyes. And that's all that matters for the story going forward. Cut Dialogue Explained. The revelation of cut dialogue from the finale offers huge insight into Spencer's emotional breakdown and his motives. According to actor Brandon Sklenar, there were originally lines in the script where Spencer made it explicitly clear why he blamed Whitfield for Alex's death. These lines reportedly highlighted Spencer's belief that everything Whitfield touched turned to poison, that his influence, even indirectly, led to the destruction of anyone close to the Duttons. Removing those lines from the final cut left a gap in the logic, making Spencer's outburst feel sudden or even irrational to some viewers. With the cut dialogue restored, Spencer's actions make a lot more sense. It wasn't just grief or blind rage. It was a calculated emotional reaction built on everything he'd witnessed. From the moment Whitfield arrived on the scene, Spencer watched him dismantle lives, exploit weakness, and spread fear. In Spencer's mind, Alex didn't just die. She was taken by the environment of violence and manipulation Whitfield had created. The cut lines would have given that emotional charge a more grounded foundation, turning what looked like a raw explosion into something with deeper psychological weight. The decision to cut those lines might have been made for pacing, tone, or dramatic ambiguity, but it came at a cost. Without them, the scene leans heavily on the audience's interpretation of Spencer's grief rather than clarifying it. Including this cut dialogue in your breakdown gives fans a fuller picture of what could have been, and shows just how much a few lines can change our understanding of a character's actions. It also raises questions about what else might have been trimmed from Season 2 that could have deepened the emotional impact. How Whitfield's power plays led to this moment. Whitfield's power plays throughout 1923 are a slow burn of manipulation, intimidation, and strategic cruelty, and they set the stage for Alex's death long before the finale. From the moment he enters the story, Whitfield doesn't come at the Duttons with brute force. He uses wealth, influence, and legal pressure to choke them out. He seizes land, bribes judges, and sends threats that are as subtle as they are sinister. He doesn't need to kill people directly. He creates an environment where destruction feels inevitable. And in that sense, Alex was always in danger the moment she became part of Spencer's life. Whitfield's greatest weapon is that he doesn't fight fair. While the Duttons live by grit and guns, Whitfield manipulates systems. He works behind closed doors, pays the right people, and applies pressure until his enemies either bend or break. By forcing the Duttons into survival mode, he puts everyone they care about, including Alex, in the crosshairs. Spencer is off fighting battles half a world away, while Whitfield tightens his grip back home. That imbalance is what sets up the perfect storm that leads to the finale's tragedy. In a way, Whitfield didn't need to plan Alex's death. He just needed to keep destabilizing everything around her. The fear, the desperation, the sense that the Duttons were losing ground, it all adds up. When you connect the dots, his power plays are the first domino in a line that ends with Spencer alone and furious. That's why Spencer sees Whitfield as the cause. Not because he held the weapon, but because he built the world where the shot was fired. Whitfield may be gone, but the damage he caused is far from over. Spencer's grief has lit a fuse that Season 3 is bound to ignite. With no one left to blame but himself, what kind of man will Spencer become? A broken soul looking for peace, or a Dutton who finally loses control? Let me know your theories in the comments. Was Whitfield truly to blame, or is Spencer lost in his own guilt? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the Yellowstone universe. Until next time, keep your boots on and your heart guarded. The West always takes more than it gives.